Hello everyone, my name is Divya, welcoming you at PW IELTS Prep. So today in this video lecture after the grammar, we are going to talk about IELTS writing. Now let me tell you in short that IELTS writing is all about 1 hour task where you will be asked to perform on two different things. The very first task will ask you to write a report if you are preparing for your higher education, and if you're preparing for immigration or maybe want to have work experience, so the task one will ask you to write down a letter. But here I am going to start with the writing task 2. Now if I say the writing task 2, so you need to understand that why writing task 2 first, why not writing task 1. So let me tell you, writing task 2 has a double weightage than the writing task 1. So make sure whenever you are writing your IELTS, you also start your exam with the IELTS writing task 2, because this is one of the tasks where you need to pay attention and you need to get more score, because somehow you will get 6 score out of 9 here, and then writing task 1 will only give you 3 out of 9. So make sure that you start with this. So here if I talk about writing task 2 in detail, right? The writing task 2, the very first topic that we are going to discuss is agree or disagree. Now you need to pay attention that here it is written agree or disagree. So when I say agree or disagree, so this is the question type where you need to understand that the examiner is asking you to choose one thing, like either you agree with the statement or you disagree with the statement, right? Though you can write down partially agreement also, but this is the another type of essay. But today we are going to talk about only the essay where you have to write down one-sided, right? It should be a one-sided essay if the examiner is giving you only a statement whether you agree or disagree with the statement. Now, the topics that we are going to cover today, the very first thing that I'm going to explain that what is the band 9 structure, right? What is the band 9 structure? How many paragraph it should have? How you are supposed to connect your paragraphs, and of course, the length of the paragraph we'll be talking in detail. Second thing that we are going to cover is evaluation criteria, the one of the very most important part. Now why? Because see, I have seen बच्चे बहुत ऐसे लिख लेते हैं. See, first of all you need to understand, ये वो ऐसे नहीं है जहां पर आपने शीट्स को भर दिया, 3 शीट्स भर दी, 4 शीट्स भर दी. No, examiner wants you to be specified, examiner wants you to be precise, and whatever you are writing, make sure it is absolutely related to the topic. You are not supposed to write down anything which is not related, right? So make sure that examination, the evaluation criteria plays a very very important role whenever you are writing essay for the IELTS, right? So we will be discussing this in detail. After that, if I talk about the third point that we are going to cover is writing paragraphs, and of course the common mistake that usually students do when they are writing for the IELTS. And last but not the least is your grammar. We are also going to cover that, how important is grammar, like if you are writing a very simple sentence, if you're writing a complex sentence, that how you can boost up your score. So all these things we will be covering today in this part. Now, the very first thing that you need to understand is introduction. So as I mentioned that the essay that we are going to do today is about agree or disagreement, right? So agree or disagreement. So let me tell you that how it should be a one-sided essay. See, let's suppose the statement is given to you. A statement is saying, well, education is one of the important element to develop a nation. Okay, this is the topic, that education is one of the very important element to develop a nation. Now, with this statement, do you agree or disagree with that? Though some of you will say, well, ma'am, I partially agree, I agree also, and I disagree also, right? But you cannot do this today. This type of essay we will be covering in the coming slide. Do not worry about it. In the coming video lecture, we'll be covering that. If you want to write down the partial agreement, we'll be discussing that. But today I'm going to tell you specifically the one-sided essay. Okay. So let's suppose you say, well, I agree with the statement. Yes, that education plays a very important role to develop a nation. So let's suppose your viewpoint is about agreement, right? So make sure that the entire essay that you are going to talk about should be in the agreement only, right? All the paragraphs, the points that you are going to write down should cover only the agreement, that what makes you agree, that why do you agree with the statement. You should have some reason to explain that. On the other hand, if you say, no ma'am, I think that I disagree with the statement, so of course you can write down in the favor of disagreement also. Now let me tell you one thing here. What is your opinion? Do you agree with that? You disagree with that? Examiner has nothing to do with this. Your score will not be hampered if you say, okay, I agree with this specific topic and I disagree with that. Whatever the viewpoint you want to write down, you are absolutely free to write. Okay, so make sure you should have good points, right? When you're writing, you should have good points so that you can explain them well, right? This is the major task that you need to keep in mind. After the introduction, we'll have the reason number one, right? In the very first body paragraph, I'll be writing my reason number one, that what makes me agree, right? My reason number one. Then just to add my reason number two, make sure that you're writing in the different paragraph, in the another paragraph in your writing task two, right? That, all these body paragraph will carry or will take, the one reason, right? You are not supposed to write on all your agreement on all the reason only in the one body paragraph and then you're continuing that. No, you are supposed to write down the one reason in first paragraph, second reason in second paragraph. Then after we have a conclusion, right? The conclusion, I have also seen most of the student, they feel very confused, right? They feel like, okay, what to write in conclusion? Everything I have written here only, right? So they need to understand that in the conclusion, whatever the points they have written, okay, whatever the points they have written or explained in the body paragraph, the same points you are supposed to sum up, right? You are not supposed to add anything new. You are going to sum up both the reason by repeating your opinion. You can add that also. Okay, now talking about the evaluation criteria. If you remember, I told you one of the very, very important part. सो योर ऐसे यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड हियर. देखो, हम कुछ भी लिखते हैं, हम कोई भी ऐसे लिख रहे हैं. लेट्स सपोज आपको एक कोई भी टॉपिक मिला और आपने उसमें अपने मन से जितने भी आपके पास आइडियाज हैं, जितने भी आपके पास नॉलेज है, सारी ट्रांसफर कर दी, राइट? एंड समहाउ यू आर डन विद 2 pages or 3 pages. So first thing that you need to understand, that here you are not supposed to write down anything that you want, right? You need to maintain some word limit, right? That also come in the criteria. Like, let me tell you, the very first thing is called task response. Task response is what? Let's suppose if the question is given to you that education plays an important role, education is one of the very important element to to develop a nation. So here they are asking you that how education is developing a nation, right? They want you to write down the reason, that what is the contribution of education, right? How education is developing the nation. But sometimes what happens, student ends up by writing the importance of education. No, you need to keep in mind that here relevancy is the key. So make sure whatever the topic is given, you will take time to understand that what question is asking you, and then after you will start writing, or you will start planning and then writing. So here the task response is something that how appropriate your response are. So make sure that, as I mentioned, that whatever the topic you have given, okay, they are going to talk about that how important, what is the role of education in developing of a nation. So make sure that you are writing all the ideas related to that only, right? Also, let's suppose sometimes not only one, they are asking you 2 questions. So make sure you are completely answering the question, right? Let's suppose how it is contributing, right? And what are the changes we have seen. Let's suppose they are saying how education is contributing in developing a nation and what are the changes we have seen in recent year. So always remember that you are supposed to answer completely, right? Whatever the question is given in that particular prompt, whatever the question they are asking you, what is the development and what is the contribution and what are the things that we have seen in recent year, make sure that you are answering everything. And yes, it should be a well-developed response. When I say a well-developed response, of course, you are clear with your ideas, you are clear with your points that you are going to write down. So make sure that it is well-developed. Now, second is called cohesion and coherence. Now, cohesion and coherence is what? It's all about well-structured essay. See, as I've told you that here, you will have to write at least 4 to 5 paragraphs, and out of these 4 to 5 you will see the very first paragraph and the last paragraph is the common one. You will have to start with the introduction and you have to finish by giving a conclusion. Now, depends at how many body paragraphs you are writing. Either you are writing 2 body paragraphs or 3. If you are writing 3, so you will have total 5 paragraphs. If you are writing 2 body paragraphs, then you will have total 4 body paragraphs. I mean total 4 paragraphs in your essay. So here when I talk about the cohesion and coherence, so it is, this is something which observe that, how good you are when you are, linking your ideas. Let's suppose the very first reason I have given in my first body paragraph, and then I am going ahead with my second reason. So how well I am connecting my first reason to the second reason to the third reason, and the most importantly, how I am connecting my introduction to the entire paragraph, right? So this is what will be observed here, that how you are linking your words, right? What kind of paragraphing, right? And the referencing words you are using, how you are using the sequence, right? Sequence of the language. So this is what will be observed in the cohesion and coherence. Talking about third one is called lexical resources. So lexical resources, right, known as vocabulary also. So let me tell you, lexical resources की मैं जब भी बात करती हूँ, जब भी हम vocabulary की बात करते हैं, usually out of 10 8 students तो यही बोलते हैं मैम हमारी vocabulary बहुत strong नहीं है. This is one of the very big problem that we are facing कि हमारी vocabulary अच्छी नहीं है. So let me tell you here, examiner do not want, right? Examiners, they do not want you to write like a professor of any university or a college. They know that you are a student and they want you to write like a student only. Only one thing that they want you to understand, that you should know the appropriate vocabulary, right? Appropriate vocabulary, when I say, so it's all about, let's suppose if I say, well, I am confused, right? I'm confused and I think after 1 hour I'll be able to make decision, but you are confused at that level that you're not able to take decision, right? You need to talk to someone. So here in this, in this level, you will not say that you are confused, you are in dilemma. So there is a difference between confused and dilemma. Let's suppose you are hungry. Okay, I can wait for more 5 minutes, right? I'm hungry. But if you're hungry, that much that you cannot even wait for a single second that you can eat a horse, right? So here you are not hungry, you are starving, right? So make sure that you are aware that what is the word, what is the meaning of this word and how to use that word. And most importantly, without repetition, right? So here they do not want you to repeat the same word and again. Now let me tell you one thing here, very important. See, IELTS writing is all productive English, right? Here examiner wanted to see that how creative, how productive, how good you are when you're coming up with your ideas. So let's suppose you are saying, yes, education is very important element. And again you are repeating important element. So definitely it will hamper your marks, right? So here it is not only important, it is significant, it is vital, it is necessary, it is essential, right? You should know some synonyms, right? Which will help you to show your productivity, and of course you will get good marks or good bands after that. Last but not the least, your grammar range and accuracy. If I talk about the grammar range and accuracy, so here ability to use range of grammar forms correctly, use a range of complex sentences and a correct punctuation. So here when you are writing, make sure that you are not writing the same sentence or the same tense again and again. Have some variety by using some complex sentences, some sentence like passive sentences, some active sentences. Give that kind of variety. And most importantly, when you're writing, right, make sure of the capitalization. You should be aware that where we have to start with the first capital letter, where we have to put the comma, where we have to put the full stop. So make sure that you are aware of these all points, right? Now when I talk about this criteria, so make sure that all these carry 25 and 25% of your marks. So I won't say that okay, grammar ज़्यादा important होता है vocabulary से, या आपका task response ज़्यादा important होता है. No, all four of them are equally important, and make sure that you are you are practicing this before writing for your IELTS, because आपका हर एक पैराग्राफ इन्हीं 4 कैटेगरीज में इवेल्युएट होता है. लेट्स सपोज आपके पैराग्राफ में ग्रामर अच्छी है लेकिन आपकी वोकैबुलरी अच्छी नहीं है, तो हो सकता है आप ग्रामर में आपको 9 आउट ऑफ 9 मिल जाए लेकिन वोकैबुलरी में 9 आउट ऑफ 4 मिले, राइट? हो सकता है आपका वोकैबुलरी अच्छा है लेकिन आपका जो कनेक्शन है, द कनेक्टिंग, द वे यू आर कनेक्टिंग एंड यूजिंग सम लिंकिंग वर्ड्स आर नॉट दैट गुड. तो हो सकता है आपको ग्रामर में अच्छा मिले, वोकैबुलरी में अच्छा मिले, लेकिन आपका टास्क के अच्छे से रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आपने किया, और मे बी आपका लेक्सिकल रिसोर्सेज और द कोहेजन एंड कोहेरेंस इज नॉट दैट गुड. सो आपको उसमें मार्क्स कम मिलेंगे. सो आपको ओवरऑल सबको बैलेंस करके चलना है. आपका टास्क रिस्पॉन्स भी, आपका कोहेजन कोहेरेंस भी, आपका लेक्सिकल रिसोर्सेज भी, एंड ऑफ कोर्स grammar range and accuracy. That is, these all 4 things are very, very important. I will also tell you in upcoming slide that how they are evaluating you on these parameters. Now, suppose the question is, some people believe that if people are allowed to work after 60, Some people believe if people are allowed to work after 60, it would cause problems for younger people, right? This is the question. So first we need to understand what is the question. So the question is saying some people believe कि अगर लोग काम करते हैं उनके 60 के बाद भी, उनकी 60 एज के बाद भी, तो ये कहीं ना कहीं एक प्रॉब्लम होगी यंगर पीपल के लिए. या तो उनको भाई अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिलेगी, वो रिटायर नहीं होंगे तो नए लोग कैसे आएंगे. सो मेनी थिंग, राइट? वी कैन डेवलप आइडियाज हियर. सबके अलग अलग पॉइंट्स हो सकते हैं. बट द टॉपिक इज आस्किंग यू, some people believe that if people are allowed to work after 60, it would cause problems for younger people. Now here, do you agree or disagree? Do you agree or disagree with the statement? So again here they are asking you to choose, do you agree or disagree with that statement? Now here, give reason for your answer and include any relevant examples of from your knowledge and experience. So here, let me tell you one more thing here, that all these essays will ask you to write down at least 250 words. Make sure when you are writing, you are writing at least 250 words, because this is also one of the criteria comes in task response, because they're asking you how to responding to the task. And when the question itself is saying write down at least 250 words, so make sure you are writing it 250 words, right? It should not be 250. When I say 250 or more, right, you can write down more also, so you can exceed till 280, right? But do not write more than that. Somewhere between 250 to 280 you are supposed to write down your essay. Okay, so here if I talk about this topic, right, do you agree or disagree with that? We need to, of course, first brainstorm the ideas. We need to see that where I have the strong point, right? Accordingly, I can go ahead. So if I talk about agree or disagree, let's suppose I have 3 reasons, right? I have 3 reasons for agreement with this statement, and I have 5 reasons for disagreement. Now sometimes what happen personally, you will get a topic जहाँ पे personally आप disagree करते हो, but you don't have that many points to write. तो यहाँ पर आपका सारा फोकस होना चाहिए कि कौन से पॉइंट्स में आप अच्छे से डिस्क्राइब कर सकते हो, बिकॉज हियर द एग्जामिनर हैज नथिंग टू डू विद योर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. ही जस्ट वांटेड टू सी कि स्टूडेंट ने कितने अच्छे से डेवलप किया है ऐसे और अपने पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू को एक्सप्लेन किया है. सो नो मैटर यू अग्री यू डिसअग्री विद दैट, मेक श्योर यू आर ऑलवेज राइटिंग योर एसे इन फेवर ऑफ जहाँ पर आपके स्ट्रॉन्ग ओपिनियंस होते हैं, जहाँ पे आपके पास स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉइंट्स होते हैं. So let's suppose मेरे पास यहाँ 5 points है for disagreement and 3 points है for agreement only. So the better choice, the smart choice is I will write my essay in favor of disagreement only. Now see the ideas to generate. Of course we need to understand, okay, topic हमें पता चल गया, अब मुझे इस पे लिखना क्या है. Always remember that you will have 40 minutes, right, for writing task 2, right, to write down 250 words or more. You will have 40 minutes, right? So out of these 40 minutes, so you need to understand, out of this 40 minutes, you will easily take out 5 to 7 minutes for planning. Always take out for planning, right? When I say planning, it is very, very important. Why? Let me tell you, okay, let's suppose you understood the topic and you straight away start writing it down. So what happened? You may write down your introduction well, but बाद में क्या होगा? आप जब अपने बॉडी पैराग्राफ पे पहुंचोगे, आप रुकोगे थोड़ी देर के लिए, सोचोगे, फिर लिखोगे, फिर रुकोगे, सोचोगे, फिर लिखोगे. द वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग, आपका टाइम वेस्ट होगा. सेकेंड थिंग, you will end up by writing something which is not relevant to the topic. ऐसा होता है ना, जब हम कुछ लिखते हैं ऑन द स्पॉट, हम सोचते हैं, हम स्टार्ट कहीं से करते हैं और हम पहुंच कहीं जाते हैं, बिकॉज वी हैव दीज मेनी एक्सपीरियंसेस एंड दीज मेनी ऑब्जर्वेशन. तो आपने कहीं से स्टार्ट किया और आप पहुंच कहीं और गए. सो मेक श्योर जब भी आप अपना ऐसे लिखोगे, पहले आप क्या करोगे, आप प्लानिंग के लिए 5 to 7 मिनट्स लिखोगे, विच इज इजिली मैनेजेबल. आप आराम से 5 to 7 मिनट्स ले सकते हो और अपने ऐसे को प्लान कर सकते हो. 30 मिनट्स में भी यू कैन राइट डाउन द गुड एसे अबाउट 250 वर्ड्स और सो. ओके, सो मेक श्योर दैट यू आर प्लानिंग फर्स्ट. सो लेट्स डू प्लानिंग टुगेदर. कैसे करते हैं प्लानिंग समझ लेते हैं एक बार. सो देखते हैं पहले मैं क्या क्या पॉइंट है मेरे पास जिससे मैं अग्री करती हूँ. व्हाट मेक्स मी अग्री? द वेरी फर्स्ट रीजन टू अग्री विद दैट कि यस, कि अगर एज 60 एज के बाद भी अगर सीनियर सिटीजन या ग्रे वर्कर्स दी वर्क करेंगे तो ये कहीं ना कहीं प्रॉब्लम होगा यंगर यूथ के लिए. सो पहले समझते हैं क्यों, कैसे, व्हाई डू आई अग्री. वेल, एक्सपीरियंस्ड कैंडिडेट्स आर ऑलवेज प्रेफर्ड. यू नो दैट, जितना ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस है उतना ज्यादा ही कंपनी प्रेफर करती है उन्हें. तो जितने जैसे जैसे एज बढ़ती जाएगी डेफिनेटली दे विल हैव दैट मेनी years of experience. So yes, experienced candidates are always preferred. Second, the mistakes that occur in very less. So for example, that occur is very less. So let's suppose if they are very experienced, so वो mistake भी कम करेंगे, right? They do have a very good experience and they have that much year of expertise that they can write down, they can do anything with less mistakes, right? Without error. So only I think these are the only 2 points I have right now with me. But what I talk about, when I talk about the disagreement, so here what would I say is एजिंग इफेक्ट्स कॉग्निटिव एबिलिटीज, राइट. तो जैसे जैसे इंसान बड़ा होता है, उसकी एज बढ़ती है, तो उसकी कॉग्निटिव एबिलिटीज मीन्स उसकी प्रोडक्टिविटी, राइट, कहीं ना कहीं कम होती जाती है. ओके, लेट्स सपोज इफ आई कैन वर्क राइट नाउ 10 आवर्स अ डे, तो जब मैं 60 में पहुंच जाऊंगी तो आई डोंट थिंक सो आई बी एबल टू वर्क मोर देन 4 आवर्स अ डे, राइट. सो यस, दिस डिपेंड्स. सो यस, यहाँ पर क्या होता है, आपकी प्रोडक्टिविटी लो हो जाती है. ये एक मेरा दूसरा रीजन है कि मैं क्यों डिसएग्री करती हूँ. देन conservative in nature is what, that you feel like, I mean, the older people are not very easy, they are not very easy to welcome a change. So let's suppose nowadays हम क्या करते हैं, बहुत सारी टेक्नोलॉजीज आती है एवरी डे. आज हमें पता है कि भाई चलो आज इस सॉफ्टवेयर पे काम करना है, कल उस सॉफ्टवेयर पे काम करना है, तो वी आर ऑलवेज हैप्पी एंड रेडी टू accept the change, because somehow it is helping us to grow also. लेकिन older people नहीं करते हैं. They have, they are somewhere conservative in their nature. They do not welcome change. They do not like these many changes, right? So this is one of the drawback. Then current technology is very changing and older people cannot adopt easily, right? This is what I have explained. So you can see here for the agreement, I have only these 2 reasons. Now for the disagreement, I have almost 4 reasons, right? So better choice is what, that I'll be writing my essay in favor of disagreement. So here essay structure, let us understand the essay structure. Again, one of the very important part, अगर आप चाहो तो उसका screenshot भी ले सकते हो, because ये बहुत important part होता है. देखो, इंट्रोडक्शन से हम स्टार्ट करते हैं, ठीक है. तो पहले समझ लेते हैं इंट्रोडक्शन होता क्या है, लिखते कैसे हैं इंट्रोडक्शन. इंट्रोडक्शन इज नॉट ओनली कि आपने सिर्फ एक टॉपिक को डेवलप कर दिया या फिर आपने सिर्फ टॉपिक को पैराफ्रेज कर दिया एंड यू आर डन. नो, योर इंट्रोडक्शन विल आस्क यू टू फॉलो द 3 स्टेप्स. रीराइट द स्टेटमेंट, गिव योर ओपिनियन एंड स्टेट 2 supporting reason. So let's suppose, जैसे मैंने mention किया, that education is one of the important element to develop a nation. Do you agree or disagree with that? So मेरा सबसे पहला point क्या होगा, जो मेरा topic है, that education is one of the very important element to develop a nation. उसी sentence को मैं rewrite करूंगी, यानी कि अपने words में लिखूंगी, just to show my productivity. I'm not supposed to copy exactly the question, right? So I'm supposed to write down something, some same information, but in my own words, but in my own language. Then after, okay, I say, okay, yes, that education plays a very important role. Now I agree with this statement, or this essay, agrees with the statement. So I'll be writing the viewpoint, that what I'm going to, explain, and what makes me agree or disagree. Make sure you are writing 2 supporting reasons in your introduction only. So introduction will follow 3 steps. First, paraphrase your statement, right? Second, give your opinion. Third, whatever the opinion you have, make sure you are supporting your opinion by adding 2 reasons. Now, why to add 2 reasons in the introduction? Let me tell you. So here, I mean, thesis statement is again same, like when you are writing your opinion. Paragraph 1, right? So I talk about the paragraph 1. So what happened in the paragraph 1? Okay, let me just come here. I think you are not able to see. Paragraph 1, have again 3 steps. So whenever you are developing a paragraph for the essay, make sure that you are following these 3 steps. And I will also tell you a quick strategy that you can learn and understand कि आप क्या-क्या चीजें paragraph में add कर सकते हो. See, the paragraph 1 will talk about the very first reason to disagreement. Right? Very first reason to disagreement. So you remember, we discussed, okay, I have more points on disagreement, so I'll be writing in favor of that. So I'll be writing my essay in favor of disagreement only. So the very first paragraph, right, we'll talk about my first disagreement. Now, how this can be, connected with the body paragraph or with the introduction. I have told you that write down 2 reasons to support your agreement, right, or disagreement. So we are already disagree with the statement. So whatever the reason I have introduced here, the same reason I'm going to explain with example, right? So सबसे अच्छा तरीका होता है आपके body paragraph की strategy को learn करने का, that all these body paragraph will ask you to follow E cube. Now what is this E cube? E cube means the first you are going to write down the evidence, then you are going to explain that, and then you are going to put example. So E, right? All these body paragraphs will talk about triple E, that okay, if you agree, give evidence, explain that, and give example, right? So E3 or E cube, you can learn this term so that you can understand, अच्छा मुझे body paragraph में ये 3 step करने हैं, right? Now talking about the second body paragraph here, so yes, second body paragraph will have my second reason to disagreement. Again, I'm repeating this here, guys. Always remember, you are not supposed to write down both the reason in the first paragraph. No. You think that, okay, I'll be writing my both the disagreement in the first paragraph and then in the second paragraph, I'll give some example. No. Make sure that you are starting a point in the very first paragraph and you're finishing it there only. Second body paragraph will talk about the second reason and you're going to finish that, point then and there only. Right? So again, the first E, evidence to disagree, which I'm going to explain with reason, right? This is what you are going to do, or with example, right? Now, conclusion, very important, right? Conclusion is briefly mention both the reasons. So देखो कितना connected हो गया आपका ऐसे. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, आपने introduction लिखा, आप disagree करते हो, ठीक है? Disagree क्यों करते हो? दोनों points लेके. फिर पॉइंट, उसी दोनों पॉइंट्स को, पॉइंट नंबर 1 को 1 पैराग्राफ में डिस्क्राइब किया, पॉइंट नंबर 2 को सेकंड में डिस्क्राइब किया, और अपने कंक्लूजन में दोनों ही पॉइंट को आपने क्या किया, ब्रीफली मेंशन किया और अपने ओवरव्यू, अपने ओपिनियन को दोबारा से राइट किया, राइट? So this is briefly mention both the reason and give your overall opinion. So how connected it is, right? You can see that. So make sure when you are writing, you write your introduction in such a way so that it can act like a, guide to the examiner and for you also. अगर आपका introduction अच्छे से लिखा होता है, right? Let's suppose आपके introduction में पता है ये topic है, मेरा ये opinion है और ये opinion है because of these two reason, तो आप भी focused रहते हैं, आप भी on the track रहते हैं, right? You will not get any chance कि आप इधर उधर जाएं. And that is what, examiners are looking for. आपके जो examiners होते हैं, right? जो आपके IELTS evaluators, examiners होते हैं, what they do is, they put very less time in your essay. Being a trainer, being a teacher, I will put efforts to understand, okay, मेरे student ने क्या लिखा है, तो मैं उस पर time दूंगी और समझूंगी. लेकिन examiners इतना time नहीं देते हैं. आपका essay को जल्दी से पढ़ते हैं. अगर आपका essay well structured है, well connected है, with good ideas है, right? Everything is very clear and smooth, you will get good marks. लेकिन जहाँ भी आपने examiner को confuse किया या आपकी language ने confuse किया, आपके marks वहीं कम हो जाते हैं. So देखो कितना easy आपका structure है. आपने introduction दिया, ठीक है, very good. Then आपने अपना opinion बताया, okay. आपका ये opinion क्यों है, आपको उन दोनों reason को लिखना है, right? So your introduction, your view, the topic, your introduction, topic हुआ, फिर टॉपिक का आपने ओपिनियन दिया, ओपिनियन के बाद यू हैव एडेड 2 रीजन. नाउ दोनों ही रीजन को आपने बॉडी पैराग्राफ 1 में डाला, 2 में डाला, और कंक्लूजन में दोनों ही पैराग्राफ को आपने सम अप कर दिया. तो दिस इज व्हाट यू आर गोइंग टू फॉलो. नाउ लेट्स हैव वन एग्जाम्पल, राइट? हम एक एग्जाम्पल देख लेते हैं कि इंट्रोडक्शन हम डिवेलप करते कैसे हैं. अभी मैंने आपको बता दिया कि 3 स्टेप है या 4 स्टेप है. आपने रीराइट किया, आपने ओपिनियन लिखा, आपने अपने सपोर्टिंग आइडियाज लिखे. अब उसको इंप्लीमेंट करके देखते हैं. So topic क्या था? Some people believe that if people are allowed to work after 60, it would cause problems to younger people. Do you agree or disagree? हमने क्या डिसाइड किया? हम लिखेंगे disagreement. ठीक है? Now देखते हैं. So first step क्या था? Write down in the comment box. First step क्या था? Paraphrase or rewrite the statement. मैंने यहाँ लिखा, it is often believed by some that if people are allowed to work after 60, it would cause problems for younger people. First step done. Second मैंने लिखा, I disagree that allowing elderly people to work after 60 years of age will cause problems for younger generation. तो ये जो टॉपिक है उससे मैं डिसएग्री करती हूँ. अब क्यों डिसएग्री करती हूँ उसके बारे में भी बात करेंगे, लेकिन हम अपना थीसिस भी डाल सकते हैं by saying, well, this essay will decipher various reason for my standpoint. So I'm going to write down the reason ahead in the following paragraph. Okay. अब यहाँ पर हमें क्या चीज देखनी है? देखो, in this particular paragraph, in this particular introduction, योर टास्क रिस्पॉन्स इज परफेक्ट. टास्क रिस्पॉन्स क्या था? जहां पर आप अपना you are exactly doing what is being asked or you are exactly writing what is there. So आपका यहाँ टास्क अचीवमेंट बिल्कुल परफेक्ट है क्योंकि आपने एग्जैक्टली क्वेश्चन को लिखा है, आप कहीं इधर उधर नहीं भटके हो, आपने अपना पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू लिखा है और आप उसको आगे डिस्क्राइब करने वाले हो. लेकिन यहाँ पर आपको लेक्सिकल रिसोर्सेज में मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे. तो आई टोल्ड यू ना कि हर एक पैराग्राफ इन चारों पैरामीटर्स पे ऑब्जर्व किया जाता है, इवेल्युएट किया जाता है, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट ओनली आपको मार्क्स मिलते हैं. तो क्या होता है, देखो, टास्क रिस्पॉन्स इज समथिंग डिफरेंट कि आपने जो बोला है वही किया है, ठीक है, लेकिन वोकैबुलरी में आपको बिल्कुल भी मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे. व्हाई? बिकॉज आपने क्या किया, आपने एग्जैक्टली सेम वर्ड्स कॉपी किए. जैसे यहाँ पे लिखा है सम पीपल बिलीव दैट, राइट, अलाउइंग वर्कर, राइट, कॉज प्रॉब्लम, डिसएग्री, और फिर से रिपीट करिए. देखो कितना रिपीटेशन है, आफ्टर, राइट, कितना ज्यादा हमने रिपीटेशन किया, 60 ईयर. सो बहुत सारा रिपीटेशन हो गया. एंड इफ यू रिमेंबर आई टोल्ड यू कि आपको वोकैबुलरी में रिपीटेशन नहीं करना है, राइट. आपको हमेशा न्यू वर्ड्स के साथ आना है, आपकी प्रोडक्टिविटी दिखानी है, अपनी क्रिएटिविटी दिखानी है व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग इन इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज. तो इसको आप चेंज करते हैं. अब देखते हैं हम लेक्सिकल रिसोर्सेज में भी कैसे अच्छे मार्क्स ला सकते हैं. देखो हमने क्या किया, हमारा ये टॉपिक था, मैंने बोला इट इज ऑफन बिलीव्ड बाय सम, इसको मैंने चेंज किया किसमें, ओके, यहाँ पे लिखा इट इज ऑफन बिलीव्ड बाय, ओके, इसको मैंने चेंज किया इट इज ऑफन बिलीव्ड बाय अ फ्यू सेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी, right? Then people are allowed to work after 60 would cause problems for younger people, right? Would cause problem for younger people. Then I'll be writing here that younger generation would be impacted if senior citizens are allowed to work in their old age. So if you will notice, I'm conveying the same information, but the language that I'm using here is completely different. It's my own language that I can use, and this kind of productivity will give you marks, definitely give you marks. Then I disagree, I agree with allowing people. Let's suppose if this is the topic, so my perspective is that letting aged people work after 60 years of age will not pose any problem for younger generation, right? So any problem for younger generation, so we would disagree, okay, so nahi karega problem, okay. Then what I'm going to write down, simple here, my the two reason, okay. So here you will see your task response is absolutely perfect. Why? Because यहाँ पर आपका जो task response है वो भी perfect है, आपका जो lexical resources है वो भी perfect है. task response यानी कि जो आपसे पूछा गया, you are writing the same thing and you are not copying, right? You are writing in your own language, you are writing by using your own words. So this is how you will be evaluated. So make sure that you are following these steps. Now talking about the body paragraph 1, तो body paragraph 1 की बात करते हैं. So you know that body paragraph 1 is all about E cube, evidence to support my reason, right, or to support my agreement or maybe disagreement, which I'm going to explain with relevant example. So let's see here. Let us understand the structure. So पहले मैं आपको एक स्ट्रक्चर समझा देती हूँ कि जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि E3 हमें फॉलो करना है. अब कई बार क्या होता है, हम आप लिखते हैं, राइट, व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग, सो समटाइम्स व्हाट हैपन, यू आर राइटिंग अबाउट अ पर्टिकुलर स्टफ, लेकिन सोचते सोचते एक और एग्जाम्पल आ गया, आपने वो भी ऐड कर दिया, तो समवेयर यू गो irrelevant. So make sure that whatever you're writing is connected to each other and following the same path, right? Okay, in this particular way or in this particular route we are going to take you on the disagreement only. So anywhere you are not supposed to take any left or right. I'll explain you with the example. See, let's suppose your aim is to have an apple juice, ठीक है, I wanted to have an apple juice today or maybe an apple shake today. So उसका क्या process होगा? First you will go to the market, then you will buy apple, right? After buying apples, you will come back your home, you will use your mixer grinder to make a apple shake or maybe an apple juice, right? This is the process, that you will go to the market, you will buy some apples, you will come back home, and then you will use your grinder and you will make an apple shake, okay. But anywhere in between, let's suppose you went to the market and you see, okay, the apples are quite fresh, even the mangoes are also very good, let me take mangoes also. No, you are not supposed to do that. Make sure that you are in the process of making apple juice only, so make sure that you're following this process. Do not add anything here, do not add anything which is not relevant to, or maybe something which is not there, okay. And finally when you will be on the track, then when you have grinded, and then yes, you are here and you are having an apple juice, okay. So this is what you need to keep in mind, same as with our body paragraphs. So See the body paragraph, as we we are already on a same page that we all are going to write about the disagreement. So हमारे क्या क्या topics थे, ये हमारे पास 4 points थे, right? What makes us disagree? That aging affects cognitive abilities, productivity is very low, and conservative in nature, do not welcome changes. Current technology is very changing, and older people cannot adopt easily. Okay, now let's see if we can combine this, क्योंकि हम 4 पैराग्राफ तो नहीं लिख रहे ना, we have to write down the 2 पैराग्राफ. Let's see अगर हम इसको combination करके या connect करके 2 पैराग्राफ्स में ला सकते हैं. Let's group the ideas and see if we can link them. So very first is what? Body paragraph में बात हुआ हमने, जो हमारा main point है क्या कि aging affects cognitive abilities, right? उससे क्या होता है that it somewhere hampers the productivity of a person, right? The productivity is very low. Then second main the point is what? Current technology is ever changing. So उससे क्या होता है, older people cannot adopt it easily, and they do not like these many changes. So they do not welcome these changes. So we can connect that. So this is gonna be my first paragraph. This is gonna be my second body paragraph. Now let's see. Now, as you know that the 3-step, I'm going to put my evidence, right? Then I'm going to explain that, and of course, I'm going to end up by giving an example. So the very first thing, you see, firstly, I start with a word called firstly. Now, very important. So here we have to follow the sequence, because I'm writing the 2 reasons what makes me, why I disagree with the statement. So it's a sequence. There are 2 reasons. So I have to start with firstly, secondly. Okay, so this is a sequence that will help examiner also to understand, okay, he has given 2 sequenced points. The very first is, firstly, aging significantly affects the cognitive abilities, analytical skills, and reasoning capacity of human being. So this is what I have explained. Now, this is what I have given as an evidence. Now, in other words, brain functionality of a person slow down with time, and this directly result in poor productivity at work. So I'm explaining that. Now, just to put an example, I will say, to illustrate, in a recent study, it was found that humans are, susceptible to brain damage and nerves disorder after the age of 60, which makes the decline in their performance in their field of work. Right? So here I have given the, of course, a demerit, right? A disadvantage that agar older people work karte to kya problem hoti hai. Now, just to go ahead, I said, however, this may not be the case with younger. So I'm comparing at the same time कि हाँ ये problem होती है इसलिए मैं disagree करती हूँ, लेकिन younger लोगों के साथ ये problem नहीं होती है, right? Youth, as they are considered to be adept an excellent work rate, therefore letting senior citizen work after a certain age does not attack the youth, as the senior citizen are not considered as a threat to more capable younger working class. So can you see that? The very first thing what I did, this is my first point. This is my first step. I gave the evidence which I explained here in other words. And this is to illustrate, this is my example. Right? 3 points I have, kept here. Same as with your second body paragraph. So can you tell me how we are going to start with the second body paragraph? मैंने first start किया था by saying firstly. Second start करेंगे by saying secondly, right? So here, secondly, elderly people find arduous to quickly learn new technology. ये क्या होता है? They find it difficult. Meaning of this word is difficult. This is because previous century as opposed to the century current, right? Current century never experienced the fast pace of evolving business. So this provide no opportunity for worker during that time to adapt some changes, right? तो पहले कुछ changes होते ही नहीं थे, इसलिए लोगों को आदत भी नहीं है changes करने के लिए. अब इसको मैं example एक example के तरीके से समझाती हूँ. In many organization, when application that work on older technology are decommissioned, older employees face difficulty to swift comprehend and are more sensitive to change. However, again, I'm giving one good side about the youth. However, the younger working class have always showed positive, involvement, these variation, which makes them more, preferable employability. Hence, allowing elderly people to work cannot pose any problems to younger generation. So here also I did the same thing, right? I gave my second reason, which I explained, and then I put my example here. Now, last but not the least, how to start with the conclusion. So here, नेवर यूज एक्सेसिव इमेजिनेशन. देखो कंक्लूजन में आपको कभी भी कोई भी नई चीज ऐड नहीं करनी होती है. वट एवर यू हैव ऑलरेडी स्पोकन, वट एवर यू हैव ऑलरेडी रिटन, सेम थिंग आपको बस शॉर्ट में करके लिखना होता है, राइट? सो राइट वट इज रिटन इन द बॉडी 1 and 2, pick up the 2 keywords from each paragraph, right? So here to recapitulate, a very good word, right? सब कुछ दोबारा मतलब to recapitulate due to various age related challenges such as declining health or slower learning and poor adapting skills, I believe that presence of old people in the job market will not affect any challenge to the any challenges to the prospect of younger generation, right? So this is how I have concluded, because this is what I have spoken in my entire essay or written in my entire essay. Same thing I'm going to write down in short. So this is how your entire essay will look like, right? You will start by giving introduction, right? And then, okay, after introducing the topic, you will add your opinion, and then you will say, okay, what you are going to do next. Then you will start with your first point. You will give your first reason, which you will explain with example. Then you will give your second point, which you will explain, evidence you will give, which you will explain, and then you will give example. And then you are going to just conclude the entire essay by telling, by keeping any one point from the body paragraph, and you are good to go, right? Now, if you have any question related to the essay writing or anything that you think that I need to repeat or anything that you want me to come up with again, right? Do not hesitate to write down in the comment box. We are happy to help you here, and that is why we are here, right? So thank you so much. See you again in the next video where I'm going to cover a different topic. So make sure you are not missing. Bye-bye. ये फैन बंद हो गया क्या? फैन बंद हो गया क्या? अरे चलो.